Hello and welcome to the Tottenham America channel. Today we will be reacting and giving our thoughts on the first group stage match of the Qatar 2022 World Cup, which was the host Qatar against Ecuador in the first Group A group stage match, and Ecuador delivered with their performance, beating Qatar by 2-0 and starting their Qatar 2022 campaign off with a bang.
So, in the 16th minute was the first highlight of the match, where Enner Valencia fired home from a penalty and gave Ecuador the lead, and the first goal in the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. So, Al-Shib brought down Valencia in the box, and he got the penalty that way and put it away. And that was his first out of 2 goals. His second goal, which he got in the second half, in the first half, my bad. In the 31st minute.
In the 31st minute, Valencia scored a superb header from very far out, probably almost out at the D of the box. A beautiful cross was put in by, I believe it was Preciado or Caicedo. I think it was Preciado. And Qatari defenders were all over the other players, but they completely did not mark Enner Valencia, who nodded home from a while out, beat Al-Shib from a long way out, and gave Ecuador a 2-0 lead, and that's how the match ended. Qatar with not a good performance. They are actually the first team in history, the first hosts in history to not win their first match. Before this, every other host has won their first match. Qatar is the first host nation to lose their first match at the World Cup, which is pretty shocking. But
last year, Russia won their first match 5-0.
Brazil won it
definitely
long ago. Then South Africa, I think they didn't win, but they drew with Mexico in their first match. So we've had wins or draws, but never a loss until now, which kind of shows you how lucky Qatar are to get into this World Cup solely based on their hosting. Because if they weren't hosting, they'd be nowhere near getting into this competition.
They wouldn't. It's like they just came out of nowhere. No one has seen them anywhere. Honestly, I feel like they did not do too bad.
The first half they were destroyed.
In the second half, they did not do too bad with all the pressure that was piled on top of them from Ecuador.
Yeah, I think they could have scored 1 or 2, but that's where their quality lets them down. Those players that you need that can finish, they don't have them, so you're not going to score. But as for Ecuador, I was surprised with them.
Yeah,
they played excellently today.
They've been improving. I feel like they definitely deserved this spot in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Moises Caicedo in midfield has been impressing me. He's been impressing for Brighton.
Enner Valencia is going to be an absolute weapon. He did go off with a little bit of a knock today. In the 72nd minute, 77th minute, he was brought off feeling his knee a little bit, but I think most Ecuador fans will be hoping that he is back, because I think is going to be a big player at this World Cup, especially in that group, because Qatar, he's bagged 2. I don't think he's going to get any against Netherlands, but Senegal versus Ecuador is going to be a very interesting match.
Yeah.
And Senegal versus Ecuador is going to be the third and final match. So, in all honesty, if the events go the right way, it could be the decider to see who goes through and who doesn't.
Yeah. I did not think Ecuador would have a shot at qualifying. I thought Senegal and Netherlands were just wipe them all out and them to clearly get into the round of 16. But Ecuador are pretty dangerous in this group, and they could definitely grab second place. I doubt they'll go ahead of Netherlands. I think Netherlands will top the group, but Ecuador can definitely qualify for the round of 16 here.
They have a lot of quality amongst their ranks, and they work hard. They were running the pitch today, and if they can do that against Senegal, I think they could be through. But again, it all goes down to the match tomorrow. What happens? It depends on the result tomorrow. If Netherlands beat Senegal, then I think Ecuador have a big chance. But that match will be decided tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. Just like today, we will do kind of a review match of a review video of all the matches tomorrow. So that includes the Group A match of Senegal versus Netherlands, as well as both Group B meetings as England take on Iran in their first World Cup match, and the United States take on Wales as the U.S. look to return to the World Cup campaign in a positive way. Let's give some score predictions for tomorrow. After giving our reactions for today, our score predictions for tomorrow, Senegal, Netherlands. What's your score prediction?
Score prediction for Senegal versus Netherlands. I think Netherlands will get the win 3-1.
I think Netherlands will pull out a win. I think it'll be 2-0. Netherlands have a very solid defense, and they should be able to, without Sadio Mane, I think they should be able to keep Senegal out. And they'll find the quality up front and get the win. What about our first Group B encounter, which is England versus Iran?
England versus Iran. I think England will definitely win this game. I think they can win it 4-0.
We know that last World Cup especially, they had a very big tendency to score lots of goals. Especially against, I believe they scored like 3 against Sweden or 2 against Sweden. They scored 5 or 6.
They scored 6, I believe, against Panama. They scored 2 against Tunisia and then none against Belgium. Knockout stage, they scored 1 against Colombia, and then they scored 2 against Sweden.
Yeah.
So, we haven't seen that recently from them. In the Euro, they were very low scoring.
Yeah.
In the group stage, they relied off of 1-0 wins.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. But I think they can bag out the win, definitely.
Yeah, I think they'll get the win. But they're going to be worried based on their recent form. Like, dropping out of the Nations League is a big deal. The first league. Especially after losing 4-0 to Hungary, drawing 0-0 drawing to Italy, Germany twice, losing to Hungary twice. That is going to be a worrisome point for Gareth Southgate. But I think England should have enough quality, and it's the World Cup, so I think a lot of players will pop up for the occasion. Our final match of Group B and our final match of tomorrow is United States versus Wales. This is going to be a very close encounter.
A very big game. Whoever wins this match has the better chance of qualifying for the knockout stage, because I think we know that England could definitely run away with the group here. So I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw between USA and Wales.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I think both teams are pretty balanced.
USA are pretty high-scoring teams at times, and it's often their defense that lets them down.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be a decently high-scoring game.
But with Wales, I think it's like, their attack can let them down at times. But their defense isn't huge quality. Like, their starting center backs are Davies, Rodon, and Ampadu.
Wales are a very balanced team.
Yeah. But they're not good. They're just balanced across the board. So it'll be an interesting encounter. United States, if they play well, I think they could get the win. But this is their first World Cup encounter in 8 years. And we know their inconsistency in a lot of matches. So I think Wales will get a draw here.
USA squad also does not have much experience at all.
Yeah.
Wales, on the other hand, Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey, Wayne Hennessy, a lot of experience there.
Yeah, but also a lot of youth.
Youth too, from Joe Rodon. We have who else? Nico Williams.
Dan James. There's a good. They've got some youth amongst their ranks, and so it's going to be an interesting match tomorrow. That match is probably the match of the day tomorrow. It's at 2 p.m. And you can watch the match on Fox, just regular Fox, not FS1. But that's it for our day 1 review of the FIFA World Cup in Qatar of 2022. If you enjoyed this